There are multiple ways to wrap hands. This is one variation, basic variation to wrap your hands. Important to wrap your hands to protect your knuckles and your wrists. It's like putting a cast on your hand underneath your glove. Recommendation is to buy 180-inch hand wraps. There's 108-inch and there's 180-inch. 108-inch are good for maybe youth. 180-inch I recommend for all teenagers or adults. And Mexican hand wraps are sometimes the best wraps to buy. It doesn't matter really the brand, but Mexican hand wraps, more elastic, and then 180-inch in length. I like to, some people like to keep it balled up or rolled up as they wrap their hands. I think for basics and for beginners, you can just let it go, release it. And so it's all stretched out. And one thing you want to look at before you start wrapping your hands is a lot of wraps will have, they'll say this side down right on one side or the other. So obviously that's the side you want down on your wrist or forearm to start. To begin with, you're going to put the little string over your thumb. And the key to this, the hand wrapping, is you want to think wrist, knuckles, and X's. You're making X's as you wrap your hand. So to first, put it around the thumb and you're going to go over top. So where it says this side down, that will go down. You go across. So from your thumb, you go across your wrist. And again, staying over top. I recommend going either in 2s or 3s on wrist and knuckles as you start. So we're going to go with 3s. So I'm going to go around my wrist 3 times. And as you go around, you want to make this as snug as possible, but without obviously cutting off any circulation. But if it's too loose, it'll just stretch out as you're working and punching with it. Obviously, if it gets too tight, then it's going to take out the circulation from your hand. So make it snug, but not too snug. So around the wrist 3 times. Once you come back around, you're going to exit. This is where the exit reference comes. So you're going to start and cross it up to your pinky joint. Okay? From there, you're going to go, as talking about the 2s and 3s, 3 times around your knuckles, as we're going to stick with 3s. So you go underneath your knuckles and around 3 times. Now it's key that you have your top knuckle, the knuckle that you're usually consistently want to punch the target with. This will be your top knuckle, number 1 knuckle, and this will be your second knuckle, and this is 3rd. So you have 3 knuckles on that finger joint. So you're going to take the wrap, and as you come over top, it's going to go halfway between the first knuckle, top knuckle, and your second knuckle. And you wrap it around, trying to keep it nice and smooth, one right over top of the other. Twice and 3 times. Once you go around 3 times, now here's that X. You're going to cross it back down to the opposite side wrist joint. Okay, so you've developed an X with your wrap. You're going to go underneath your wrist and around it 1 time. From here, we're going to again exit back up to your knuckles, and you're going to take it and go between your pinky joint and your ring finger. And by going between your fingers, it just helps protect the ligaments and tendons inside of your knuckle joints. So it separates your fingers. And also it's going to help keep this wrap from sliding down your fingers as you punch through your workout. So you go up over to protect ligaments and tendons and to keep this wrap from sliding down your fingers. So between your 2 fingers, and then you're going to come underneath and go between your middle finger and your pointer finger. Okay, so underneath, through the 2 joints, knuckle joints, and once you get there, you're going to exit back down to the opposite side wrist joint. Okay? So again, you're making your X's. The whole time you're wrapping your hands, you want to wiggle your fingers, make sure they're loose. Okay, you don't want them here and then you put it on, it's really tight and your fingers start to turn purple, or white and purple. So keep that circulation there. So just kind of flex your fingers, wiggle them a little bit so it stays relatively loose. Okay? around your knuckle or around your wrist once, and this time you're going to go up between the last two fingers, your ring finger and your middle finger. From here you come underneath to where you're going to be between your pointer and your thumb. So underneath and between your pointer and your thumb, and then you're going to go around your knuckles 2 times. Okay? So again, your nice padding right here in your knuckles. Again, the key is to protect the knuckles and the wrist. That's the primary emphasis when you're wrapping your hands. Protect these knuckles and your wrists. So around your knuckles twice. Again, try to keep them right on top of each other so it's nice and smooth. Okay? Around twice. Once you go around twice, you're going to, again, cross it to the opposite side. Again, making that X, constant X's. From here, you're going to go underneath your wrist. Some people choose to do it, some people don't, is to wrap your thumb. So we're going to wrap the thumb. If you choose not to do it, that's fine. So you come underneath and you're going to go up over your thumb. And when you do that, you want to make sure this is stretched out all up your thumb. So don't wrap it right in here into the well of this joint right here. You're going to go right up over the thumb. Stretch it out nice and smooth. From here, you're going to go back around your wrist. Now, depending how much you have left on your wrap, right now I'm running out of wrap, so I can just finish it right here. But if you have another 6 inches to a foot of wrap left, you can, as you wrap it further down your wrist. You want to go from about where your wrist joint is about 2 more inches up your forearm, ideally. So once I come underneath, I can just finish it around my wrist, and then you strap it and Velcro it in. If by chance you come around here and your wrap, as you come underneath and the Velcro is down, you don't have to start all over. All you do is as you come around, you just twist it so the Velcro is up. And then as you come back around, you can just put it in. So as we come back, we'll do this all over again. Again, this is just one variation to wrap your hand. One variation. There's multiple others. So we start by going across the wrist. Drape it over the thumb, go across the wrist, thinking going over the top. Okay? This side down is what you want to use. So we go cross underneath, and this time we're just going to go twice. So again, you go 2 or 3 times as you initially start. 2 times around the wrist, exit up to your knuckles. Remember, halfway between your first and your second knuckle. Wrap it around there twice. And keeping it right on top of each other. Exit back down to your wrist. Go around your wrist once. And keep it nice and tight. Not nice and snug, not too tight where it's cutting off circulation, not too loose where it's going to slide all over the place as you start to punch. Come underneath, bring it back up to your knuckles and go through your pinky and your ring finger. Again, protecting those tendons and ligaments. And by doing this, helping from this wrap to keep sliding down over your fingers. So up over between your fingers, come underneath the 2 fingers, pointer or ring finger middle, and exit back down to your wrist. Around your wrist once. Bring it back up. Again, that X cross motion. So last 2 fingers, come underneath to your thumb and your pointer and wrap it around your knuckles 2 times or even 3. Again, we want to secure and protect these knuckles. So if you have a knuckle injury or a finger that's jammed up, you might want to put more emphasis and more wrap around this area. If you have some wrist problems or issues, sprain or past injuries, maybe put more wrap around the wrist. It all depends on maybe where you're healthy or not healthy. Okay, over the knuckles 2 or 3 times, exit back down. Okay, around your wrist once if you choose, or you can go right up over your thumb. I went around my wrist once, now up over my thumb if you want to protect that thumb. Again, you don't have to go over the thumb if you don't want to. Come underneath, keeping that smooth. Around your wrist, you can go up over your thumb one more time if you have enough wrap. Again, it all depends on the hand size. I'm going to choose, just do it once. Now I'm going to come here, and as I talked earlier, if you have plenty of wrap left, a good foot, 18 inches, you just gradually wrap it down your forearm a little bit more. And then you Velcro it up. So again, about 2 to 2.5 inches from your wrist joint up your forearm is ideal. So that's just one variation of how to wrap your hand. Again, consider 180-inch wraps, Mexican style wraps. It doesn't necessarily matter the brand.